tropical rainforest. Now in the tropical rainforest there are 5 different layers of plants. So the topmost, these are outstanding height trees. Then the 4th layer, these are trees which crowns meet to form a large canopy. The 3rd layer is a bit lower, and then there are smaller trees. And then the 2nd layer, that are shrubs. There are woody shrubs and herbaceous shrubs. They are 2 to 5 meters high. The 4th layer with the trees, the canopy, are 40 meters high. And then the lowest layer, the 1st layer, that is around half a meter high. There are tree seedlings and non-woody shrubs. And there's almost no sunlight reaching the ground. And it rains 4 meters per year around. There are some curiosities. There are flowers growing directly out of the trunk or the branches. And there are also trees which form buttresses with their roots, so they stand in the ground. And there are lianes. They are basically hanging between all these layers. And epiphytes. Epiphytes, they are growing on seeds, on humus, which is lying in cracks of other trees. There are fig trees. There are fig stranglers. And they are growing on another tree. They are going down with the roots then. And when the tree in the middle dies, and just the roots of a new fig strangler keep standing. And now there's another thing with the soil. It was thought that it was like a forest living on a good soil, but the tropical rainforest lives on its own dead remains. So new trees are growing on the dead remains of other trees. There are different types of trees. There are mahogany and greenwood and ironwood and greenheart, rosewood and ironwood and greenheart, and teaks and also other one. Now and it is very many different trees out there. They are on a very small place, just an acre, are 50 different trees, and it is very seldom that there's a tree with the same type of another one, a tree which has another one of its own type standing in its vicinity. And there is the tropical rainforest now. It is in Southern America. Now again, Southern America, where the place. There in Brazil a lot at the Amazon River, also in up to Ecuador, and also here at Uruguay, a bit down at Uruguay there, maybe a bit in the north of Paraguay and Bolivia, and in Ecuador there, and in Central America, in Panama and Costa Rica, and in Honduras, Nicaragua, and then in Africa also a bit here at Ghana and the Central African Republic, there are more also, a bit then in Kenya, in Mozambique, and on Madagascar, in the western part of India, and also in the southern part of China, Korea, and then Indonesia and northern Australia also. And where is it? And that is according to Book 3, Part 22, Regions of the Earth, Reader's Digest Library of Modern Knowledge, written by Hugh Clayton, John Cole, Michael Frenchman, and D.H. Sinclair on the page 1084 and 1085. If you click this video away, then please tell me what the reason was so that I can improve. Otherwise, hi, welcome. I'm trying to learn climatology today, tropical rainforest, and after we've done that, we're gonna do hip training. And if you participate in the hip training, then ist wieder die Augen. Tropical rainforest. Tropical rainforests are among the wettest places in the world, with rainfall reaching an average of 4 meters in a year in the lowlands near the equator. Okay, tropical rainforest, 4 meter rainfall per year. As the vegetation pushes up towards the strong sunlight, it forms 5 distinctive layers. The top layer consists of scattered, high trees that tower above the second layer, a closed canopy formed by the crowns of tall trees. I don't know what a canopy is. So we're saying that they are very high and big trees, on the top with their big crown. And the second layer is also crowns of trees. Below this canopy is a third layer formed by smaller trees, whose crowns do not meet. So there are very big and high trees at the top, and then there is a second layer, and there the crowns meeting, so basically we're closing all off. And there's a third line with smaller trees, and they don't touch each other with the crowns. The fourth layer is composed of woody and herbaceous shrubs. In this fourth layer, that is woody and herbaceous shrubs. Finally, there is the ground layer of non-woody herbs and tree seedlings. And little light reaches this layer. Okay. First layer, high trees towering over all. Second layer, a closed canopy. Whatever a canopy is. A closed canopy with the crowns of the trees touching each other. The third layer, a little bit smaller trees which don't touch each other. The fourth layer, herbaceous shrubs. Herbaceous shrubs and woody. They're shrubs. Woody and herbaceous shrubs. Whatever it means. And the fifth layer, that is the ground layer, there are small trees, seedlings, non-woody herbs. What are herbs? Non-woody herbs and seedlings of trees. Little light is there. The canopy averages about 37 meters in height, the shrubs 2 to 5, and the herb layer about 1 meter. At the top, that are 37 meters. Are these now the higher trees or the crown of trees? So 37 meters. At the canopy, that must be the second layer. The top layer is one higher, that makes sense. And when the shrubs are 2 to 5 meters, the woody and herbaceous shrubs, and when the non-woody herbs and tree seedlings, they are 60 half a meter. In the tropical rainforests, there are now marked seasonal changes. But individual species of plants have their own rhythms of growth and decay. So there are no seasons, because it's at the equator, the world stays always the same. The seasons are because if you are in the northern half, in North America, in Asia, or in Europe, then the Earth stands like that in the sky, in the space, and the sun's here. If it stands like that, then the sun reaches it. If the Earth turns now half a year later, around and stands on the other side like that, doesn't matter how many, then the sun reaches it from another angle, because the world is not standing straight. I think that is the reason. And the sunlight comes from the side. That is why the sun is lower in the winter. If you are in the northern or southern part, half of the Earth, in Australia or in South Africa and Southern America also. And that is the reason the Earth is not like that, but like that. And even if it would be like that, it is still the case that the sun would become to the middle and reaches the upper half from the side, basically. So the sun goes through more layers. But the reason for winter and summer must then be that it is like that. So that it comes sometimes the light completely in. It's something like that. Maybe not confusing two things, but that is basically the reason. And after half a year, after 6 months, the Earth has traveled around the sun and is now on the other side of the sun. And then the lights hit in another angle. But at the equator, it's all the time the same. If it stands like that here and the sun hits here, or it stands here and the sun hits then here, it doesn't matter. It hits all this in the same angle. That's why at the equator there are no seasons. So that would be winter, and when we see autumn, whatever the other around, spring, and then spring, and then so. No seasons, but there are rhythms of growth and decay. Some plants flower 6 times a year, and others only once in 40 years. Some are flowering 6 times a year, others only every half a century. Many trees produce flowers that grow straight out of the branches and trunk. Many rainforest trees have roots that form buttresses and their bases helping to stabilize the tall trunks. I don't know what it all is, but they're going to say it like it. And many of these trees, they have that's just the roots. I don't know what buttresses are, so they can't say it. I thought they have intentionally something growing at their roots, which helps them to stabilize with some other plants. Evergreen species have dark green, often leathery, Leaves that taper sharply to a drip tip which enables water to drain quickly from the surface. Okay, some plants are able to repel being hydrophobic and repelling the water. The forests, there's another line. There's a third. The forest's layers are matted together by lianes and epiphytes, plants that use other plants for support but are not usually parasites. Okay, there are a lot of lianes and epiphytes, and these epiphytes using other plants as support, but they are not parasites. Lianes hang in huge festoons between the trees. Epiphytes grow on taller trees and feed on the humus lodged in cracks on them. There are also plants that are stranglers, like the strangler fig. They grow from seeds lodged in the forks of large trees and send down roots that twine around the house and eventually kill it. So there's a big tree standing and it has branches, and there's no seed falling down, and then the tree starts to grow on top of the tree. And the roots are not growing into the earth, but around the tree and killing it. The strangler is left standing as a hollow tree after the house rots away. The variety of trees and plants is almost beyond number. There may be more than 50 different species of tree within an acre, and members of the same species are rarely found close together. Okay, there can be within an acre, I think that are 100 times 100 meter, but it could be even less. Whatever. Within an acre, but it isn't within an acre. That are 10 times 10 meters. 100 times 100 meters is a hectare, I think. I don't know what an acre is. It's smaller than a hectare. There can be 50 different trees, and it's seldom that two trees of the same type are growing next to each other. Mahogany, rosewood, ironwood, greenheart, teak, and balsa are among the better known. The forest has generally lived undisturbed for thousands of years and is not necessarily the product of fertile soil. As experts once believed, the tropical rainforest exists on its own dead remains. Is that because the region where it grows is so close to the equator? I don't know. Why is there not something rising up that it grows on its own soil? Now the book is from the 70s, maybe some things have changed. Okay, we have all the information, so it was longer than I thought, so we don't have time for the presentation now, but we have not really time. We don't have time to go over it again. Let's look where it is. The tropical rainforest. It is the darker brown. So it is in South America, in Brazil, and also it is almost all Brazil. Peru is not really there. It's maybe Bolivia and Brazil. The south of Colombia, a bit, yes, Guyana, Swaziland, Guyana, French Guyana, and then also up to Honduras, Costa Rica, Panama, and it's the same here in Asia. No, first in Africa. This one, Africa, in Ghana, and then in Central Africa. I don't know all the countries. Also on the eastern part of Madagascar. Then in Indonesia and Japan, North Korea, eastern part of China, western part of India. Okay. We don't have time. That's also climatology part. If you were here for climatology, you can go directly to the next part of climatology. Maybe try to save it from memory in the presentation. If you stay here and participate in the hip training, then it's at your own risk. And we are having the feet standing together, and we're doing the rooting tree. One toe to the outside, the other toe. Here and here. toe, toe, heel, heel, toe, toe. Back in, but this time stay low. Hip width apart with the legs, a bit down, flex the legs, press them together and straighten one. Bend it again. Up and straighten it, and bend it again. A bit wider apart, a bit down. Flex the legs, press them together and straighten one leg. Bend it again. Another one. Down, up. A bit more together, press to the other side. And now one leg up, press against the top, to side, side. Side, and now with the other leg. Press up and to the side, and in, up and to the side. And now the leg to the side, with the toes on the ground, lift up and down. Flex the foot and the toe. Other side. And one leg in the front, try to lift higher up. Control with the hands which you don't forward leg. Bring it up. Other leg. Up. Don't do this exercise if you're pregnant. Heel on the ground, lift it off and place it again onto the ground. Other side. And stand good on one leg, turn over the good leg, down, this can go under the knee, turn over, up, other one, stand good, turn over, down, over, up, and toes are pointing to the outside, only length space between the heels, breathe in and lift the arms up, breathe out, go down, hands onto the ground. With the back up and come slowly round, back up at the top of the good shoulder round. In and up. Before sinking down, hands onto the ground, back up, come slowly up. The good shoulder round at the top. And one leg out, go to the side of the airplane, go to the seesaw airplane, so back, leg. And now we're hiding airplane, pull the knee in. The other leg, seesaw airplane, leg. And now we're hiding airplane, pull the leg in, leg out. Back, legs to the sides, breathing my dog. Breathe again. Up, out, breathe in and close the legs. That was the hip training. I thank you very much.